You're listening to the Life of Lozo podcast.
We are live here at Life of Lozo.
He is the funniest, smartest, sexiest guy I know.
Lozo is now live.
Yo, on this episode, we welcome back Shawn Mics to discuss the year 1994 of the golden decade of hip-hop. We discuss some classic albums, reminisce on our trip to Atlanta in 97, and debate our top 5 MCs. Thank you so much to our sponsors, Stay Tuned Studios, The Taylor Shop Inc., 03 Productions, The Beat Brigade, Ronz Designs Clothing, Ronz World Guitars, The Music Experience, Custom Shirts and more, TheMishmash.com, and of course, Jack's Nutrition. I hope y'all ready. So let's go. Yo, Life of Lozo podcast. We are back in the studio here in rainy Jacksonville, Florida. Typically, yes, I say sunny, but it's rainy today. And Stay Tuned Studios, SES Podcast Studio A, the podcasting studio, the only one in the city.
That's dope.
Yeah, right? Like, that's for real. So
it's official.
Yeah. So we're talking hip hop. We got Shawn Mics back in the building.
Yes.
Yeah. What's
Still
up?
No Facebook.
Still no Facebook. Yeah. You ain't finding him at Shawn at his only phone number, which he won't even get to you. Yeah. But here talking hip hop, man, we've had a couple of episodes since the first one that you and I did.
Yep.
And we've had Squiggy on a couple times. We had Kool-Aid on a couple times.
Yep.
And we're still getting through it. We got a lot of years left, but it's moving, man.
I know. I love it. It's a good feeling to, like, when you're sitting there, you're like, all right, we're going to do the show. Man. And then you're going back to listen to the music, and you're like, man.
It's so good, right?
Oh, I can ride out to this.
Yeah,
man.
right?
It's like it still hasn't changed one bit, man.
No. And like you pick up certain little small things. You're like, man, I forgot about that. Or, man, I remember that song, but I forgot about that verse.
I was bumping the Red Man out. And I was
right?
Man,
there's Dark Side.
No. That dude is straight funny, man.
Dude, he's ridiculous.
He's a comedian.
He's ridiculous, man. But we'll get to him, right? Yes. We'll get to him. So this episode we are talking 1994, a good year of hip hop, some classic albums, some software albums, some other albums, but good. I mean, we're mid 90s.
Yeah, it was like a big debut for a lot of cats.
Yeah.
And a couple of cats on that chart.
Yeah.
And man, like the classics ever since. So
oh yeah, no.
When you hear them, you're gonna be like, all right, you can't deny that.
Yeah,
deny that.
The crazy part was I remember in looking through 1994, like it's starting to get into one of those years where like there's your 10 we're gonna talk about, but then like those other like up to 15, those next 4 or 5, you're like, how do we not talk about this?
I know, and it's hard to cut down to 10, man. I'm telling you. So it's like, man. And I'm just thinking, it had me thinking back 94, just going back, just thinking about that time. I'm like, man, I'm in high school, and that's when I really started falling in love with hip hop. That was the time when I was going to the record store. Let me tell you about that. So, as kids, you're broke, right?
Yep.
All right, so, me and my boys, we would go to the record store. They'll just stay. Well, it's closed now, so it's good. It's called Warehouse Records.
Is it Lansing?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'd go on our lunch break. So we'll leave school, we'll go up there at lunchtime, and we'll go get us a slice of pizza, and then we'll go to the record store to see what was new. Yeah. So we would kick it with the people in the stores, and they were real cool with us. Yeah. But then, when keeping it real goes wrong, we were like, all right, they're real friendly with us, so and we're broke. So how are we gonna get some music? So what we used to do, we used to go in the store. Yes, we used to boost.
Oh, I'm
gonna tell you the story.
Yeah. The Life of Lozo podcast. I think we're out of the years where you can be arrested for it, but we've had a lot of a lot of people talking about certain things on these shows.
But so we used to go in and
You boosted 12-inch? Like a record?
No. Just
like a cassette. Okay, I'm about to say. So how the hell did you steal a record? Looking like boxes walking out.
You remember the Triple Fat Goose?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
You can put a dead body in the Triple Fat Goose.
Yes. You can have 2 people in the Triple Fat Goose. The full body. Yeah.
The full body one. Yep. So we would go into the spot, and then, they just kept the tapes on the rack. But they put that electronic sticker on top of it. Yeah. So what they would do, we would go in, we'd take our razor, and then we'd go in with a crowd, and I would go finesse the people at the counter.
Right, yeah.
We would cut the sticker off, we'd have our stuff, and we were out the door. So
You were the face.
Yeah.
So they call it the face of the operation.
Exactly.
I got you. Okay.
And then, we split up the stuff when we get back to the school.
Yeah.
We kept going in there doing it, and they caught on.
Oh.
So what they did, they started cutting the plastic, and they stuck the electronic stickers on the inside.
Oh.
So we were like, all right, we got one step ahead of you. So we went in, and it was like, all right, we can't get nothing this time.
Yep.
So I bought a tape.
Oh.
But what they did was, they just rub it,
Yep,
and the sensor goes off. So what we did, we kept the sensor, and we'll come back in the store with it.
Right.
But one time, and it dinged off.
Right.
So they were like, walked in, we're like, I don't know why it keeps dinging.
Right.
So they were like, all right, they end up cutting the machine off.
Oh, damn.
So that's how.
That's why they went out of business, man.
And after that, we had to stop.
Yeah.
Because it was like, all right, they gonna know it's us. But that's how that 94 was a good year, because I had everything that came for free.
Man, boosted in Lansing, man.
Boosted, so
Jeez.
yeah.
Okay.
But those days are over, so
Yeah.
I done gave my life over.
Right. Bullshit.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's hysterical, man. Yeah, I was, man. I remember the days of the cassette tapes, and because I remember them being in like those. They went to those like long plastic things they would go in. They stopped doing the security stickers, and they put them in those white plastic things that were like super long, and they would have to pop them out at the register, and like you could, and if you're trying to do it, you're making all kinds of noise, you're cracking stuff in plastic,
like, yo, I know he boosting over there, look at him.
Right, yeah.
The CDs were in those, but the racks, they couldn't do it for the tapes.
For the tapes,
we were like, we're gonna load up,
man. Oh, man. Hey, it is what it is.
But man, yes, man, good times.
Good times, right?
Yeah.
So all right, so 1994, we'll get right into it then. And again, by release date, not by order of preference or favorite albums, but March 8th, 1994, Gangstar Hard to Earn, fourth album from the hip hop duo, and had the singles Mass Appeal, DeWick, Code of the Streets. And some guest appearances on some big names.
Yes.
Group Home, J. Rue, Big Suge.
What I loved about Gangstar was like they kept it in the family, man.
Yeah.
You had J. Rue.
Yep.
Group Home.
Yeah.
Little Dap was my favorite. Man. Yeah, he had a smooth flow.
Yep.
J. Rue was pretty cool. He would drop knowledge, but like out of that whole Gangstar foundation, like the Group Home was dope. Was it a Big Suge?
Yep, Big Suge.
He was dope. So, and then you had Afu Ra, who came out of there. So
J. Rue.
Yeah, J. Rue. And I mean, man, it was just a squad deep of cats, man.
Yeah.
And like the music, you had like that knowledge side, and you had that street level side with them. So you couldn't deny Gangstar.
Yeah,
and that record right there, to me, was like the best record.
Yeah.
Because like Mass Appeal, when I first heard Mass Appeal, that beat just makes you sink into it.
Yeah, it's like like I said when we talked last time for 1990, like I'm a huge Primo fan, and like his production style and what he does, and at that time he was giving that sound, and by this time now you're talking 4 albums in for them. Like it's the epitome of like this is locked and loaded. Like you knew you were gonna get some headbanger, boom bap, like MP, like crazy drum
samples that are crazy,
ridiculous. Yeah.
So Gangstar, man, and DeWick, that was the joint. Mass Appeal, gosh, oh man, that record was deep with records though.
Yeah.
The next, I think it was the next girl to the ex girl, something like that. Where so it was like that record, man, it was pretty diverse.
Yeah.
And the music was like, all right, you got the street level. You know, Guru letting you know, don't test them or the crew. They dropping knowledge. They talking stuff about relations. Like it was just the whole gamut of stuff that just made you go like, all right, this is a smooth record.
And I think too, like when you're talking about the fact that they kind of keep it all in the family, like mid 90s now, because I think in 93, like Wu-Tang really cemented that idea of like you have not just like maybe rappers and DJs and producers that work together, but like you had this like thing now where it was cool to keep it all internal. Because now if you think about like Group Home and like Gangstar and like all this, then you think about like Tribe Called Quest, and
the Native Tongues.
Native Tongues, right? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like you think of that. Then you think of, now we're gonna get in '94 as well, like kind of this Atlanta rise.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
With Outkast and like
yep,
right,
organized
noise, right, and like that whole Dungeon family.
Yep.
You know, so and then you had like the West Coast, where you had like the initial roots of J5, and like, you know, so like it was all this like kind of collaborative, crew thing, right?
Yeah.
That I think, you know, previous to Wu-Tang in the early '90s and the late '80s, you would have like the boroughs against each other, and you know what I'm saying? Like it was a different kind of feeling. Like it was coast to coast, area to area, and now you're starting to see really take hold of, like, you know,
the crew thing.
Yeah,
because on that record, you think there was really no other big names outside of their crew, you know, that were on the record.
Right.
So
because they had Nice and Smooth on there.
Nice and
Yeah,
Smooth was
absolutely.
pretty much the only people on there that wasn't really part of that Gangstar Foundation. So I mean, out of that, everything else was all crew based.
Yeah.
And I mean, the production, crew, you know, lyrics is just crazy banging. So I think that era produced so much good music.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, then they said it, and then it predated again. What was the Eric Sermon crew?
Def Squad.
Def Squad, right? And then there was Def Squad, and then there was the other one, because it was on Busta Rhymes' album. I don't know we're talking about that.
You talking about Busta Rhymes crew?
Yeah.
Or?
No, I'm talking about Busta Rhymes on his first album had the Def Squad versus.
Was it Flip Squad?
Flip Squad. Yeah, there was Flip Squad. Yeah, Flip Squad versus Def Squad.
Yep.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and everybody had a
right, but that's what, like, it was really moving in that direction.
Yes.
Yeah, where it was kind of crew based, and there was a lot of like, it was cool to be a solo artist, but also a part of a larger crew. And
exactly.
Yeah.
Now some of them didn't make it.
No, I don't know. Yeah.
Some of them know they don't wait, but you know.
But it is what it is.
But it is crew.
Yeah, some of them get, you know, they're 20 years past their prime. They get really drunk, and they end up on YouTube in some type of cipher, getting murked because they can't remember the lyrics to their own songs. I don't know.
I won't call no names.
How come Stephen's always got something smart to say? Probably can't even spell NWA. That was dope when you said it the first time, but you better remember this.
Get your verse down.
Come on. Tighten up, bro. Tighten up. You better know.
So, and that's what it was. I think, like, when you hear like that Gangstar record, that when you heard those crew records, you knew that, all right, you might hear me as a solo artist, but if you come at me, you know, this is what you're gonna feel.
Exactly.
And you didn't really hear a lot of people going at each other during that time, because like you said, everybody was rolling deep.
Yep.
And when they did go at each other, it was something. It was real.
It was real. It was kind of crew to crew.
It was real.
Right.
And we'll talk about that in a minute.
You got it
on the chart.
We got some.
Like you said, it's a good year.
All right. So album number 2, April 19th. Almost the exact opposite of crew record, and probably one of, if you Wikipedia this record, it's like 30 pages long. Like I don't know who the PR person is, but
they had a lot to talk about.
Here. Nas, Illmatic. I mean, I get it. I get 30 pages on Wikipedia. I get it. Debut studio album.
It's crazy that this 1994 and that record is still on. Like, when you mention his name, he's on a lot of people's top 5.
Of course.
Top 5.
Because of this.
Because of that record.
Yes. I just had, shouts to Corey, I just did my top 5. He does crazy hand-drawn and watercolor style artwork of like artists and headshots. And I saw him at an art festival. Kyle introduced me, of course, and I was like, you got some dope stuff here, man. I was like, he had a couple rappers out, and I'm like, what if I gave you like a top 5? Would you be able to do each? And he was like, yeah, I can do that for you. He's like, but who are your top 5? And I was like, I'm gonna get back with you, right? I was like, I need at least 4 hours to walk away. I was like, I can tell you right now who I'm thinking, but I need to walk away and I'll get back with you. But of course Nas was on.
Nas is on.
Of course is on there.
You cannot have, like, if you don't have him on your top 5, then apparently you just...
You don't understand.
You wasn't a fan of that era. That, like, you just...
Or hip-hop in general, period.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You just, all right, you know, we'll just leave you at the discussion until we get to your time. But, man, like, that record, from the time that record started to the time that record ended, every track was a banger.
No, absolutely.
And think, like, I mean, he came out with with Large Pro, with Main Source, Live at the Barbecue.
Yep.
And that was like a couple years even before this album came out.
Sure.
And then the first time I really heard like his first solo joint was the Halftime. And it was on that Zebrahead movie. I don't know if you watched that, but with Michael Rappaport.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
he had that Halftime was on that on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And when I heard Halftime,
Yeah.
I'm like, this dude
See,
is serious.
for me, it was MC Search, Back to the Grill.
Oh,
That was when because at the time, like you think about, leading up to this and even through high school, growing up and listening to House of Pain and Cypress Hill and like having, again, all these kind of factions across the country, different styles of music, I was really intrigued. Like I love that DJ Muggs style.
Yes.
Right? Of a thing. And then you had kind of MC Search and you had like this anti Vanilla Ice movement with Pop Goes the Weasel, right? Like so I was like, oh, I'm into this, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm into
Third Base.
I'm into Third Base and I'm into like this whole thing. And when he did that Back to the Grill thing, Nasty Nas, kid, you know how I run. I'm waving automatic guns and nuns, right?
Yes.
That lyric is the thing that sparked Rhyme Designs and the T-shirt idea. It's because I was like, how dope would that be to just have a T-shirt of this dude waving automatic guns and nuns? Remember I talked about it, right? And I was like, but I don't know if it's a good idea. I don't know how it's going to come across. I don't know.
It's a shirt.
Right, I said, but that was the thing that I explained to people when I'm like, this is my concept. Because if you saw that and you were like, waving guns at nuns, like, ooh, that's kind of a, but wait a minute, I know what that is.
Right.
Like that's a Nas lyric,
That's a
right?
Nas lyric.
And that was the whole spark in my brain for like the whole Rhyme Designs concept. But that's why that lyric and him and why I remember him initially is
that
in my
right
brain. Yeah, absolutely.
Man, and when you just like you said with this whole wordplay, like his lyrics, nobody could touch him. He was to me, he's still the best storyteller.
Yeah.
There's still others, you got like Slick Rick.
Sure.
Biggie's another one.
Yep.
I mean, Jay is a good storyteller, but
Yeah.
when you hear Nas, I mean, like you can,
Yeah.
like, it's on audio.
Right.
But if you close your eyes, the way he describes things makes you seem like you right there with him.
Yeah. No,
And
I
mean,
agree.
And
I
the
agree.
concepts that he came like on his previous records, like just like the concepts that he comes up with, and just the way he can deliver it.
Yeah.
There is no other MC that I think that is there. There's some that close,
Right.
but none that can never top him.
Yeah.
At this point in time,
Yeah.
none. So, and I mean, that record was just all around crazy.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people will tell you it's potentially one of the greatest hip hop albums ever put out, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the argument there. When you take in all the elements of production and you take in the lyrics
With
and
Large
storytelling,
Professor,
right? I mean, you had
Q-Tip,
Pete Rock.
LES, Pete Rock.
Come on, Premier. Yeah, like it was the epitome of what you would say at the time were like the heavy hitters.
Yes.
Of East Coast boom bap.
And the only person that he had featured, I think, was AZ.
AZ,
and
that was
wasn't,
it.
And he wasn't even out.
No.
I mean, he wasn't even around.
It was on one song.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I also think that record was his curse too, because since that point, man, everybody wants Nas, Illmatic,
Right.
and dude is like, yo, that record didn't make me no money.
Right. No, right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I was dead broke, So
I mean, it was on, literally low initial sales. Like that, like you look back on it, it didn't sell much at all. It wasn't until 96 when it actually went gold.
Right.
And it wasn't until 2001
it went
when it went platinum. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, which 7 years later.
Yes.
Right. And I think it's just because of the subsequent other things that happened. And I also think because of his visual storytelling, which you brought up, right? Looking at future songs and the fact of when kind of MTV really took on the cinematic idea of what Puffy did with the videos.
Yes.
And you think of Hate Me Now, you think of One Mic.
Yes.
You think of If I Rule the World, right?
Yeah.
You think of those songs that he did where they could actually put the visuals to how he wrote. I think then people were like, yo, he's dope.
He's dope.
I'm going to go buy Illmatic, right?
Exactly.
And that's what ended up happening.
And that's, you hit it right on the head, man.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah.
And that's sad, man, because it's like we think of Nas like, all right, man, you got to hit us with that.
Right.
And I mean, his music had drifted away because he's like, yo, I got to make money, man.
Right. Yeah.
This is something I got to do.
Right. Yeah,
I got a family to
I'm up
feed.
to put on these red leather overalls with my shirt off. I'm gonna get this chip toothpicks. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I'm gonna look like a little playboy now. I
do what I gotta do. I'm gonna have to do this Uchi Wally track.
Exactly.
Don't do it to him, Jay. Oh yeah, I digress.
There you go. Yeah. He put himself in the crossfires on that one.
He had to go pay them bills, man.
But it was but look, it was hard to earn.
For real, March 8th, Gangstar. It was hard to earn.
It was hard. That brother had went through it.
Woo!
Man, but life's a bitch.
Yeah.
He said that he wanted to do the Juicy record.
Yeah.
And when I hear Juicy, and we'll get to that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got a story about that too.
We hear that record, that Juicy Fruit, and Biggie flipped it.
Yep.
I can't imagine that song being done with that record. Now that hearing with the Earth and Fire sample, I can't hear. I just can't see it. I think not having that record was the best thing for him. So I that to me, that record right there is a classic. When I hear that Nas and AZ, nice Life's a Bitch, yo. So that record right there is a classic.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of good classics in there, a lot of good quotables in there.
Gosh.
Yeah, that guy can write, man.
Man.
Yeah.
Man.
But again, like in my top 5.
Yeah.
In my top 5, because regardless of all the other stuff that he did that could have been better, like whatever, you got to give the dude his props, because he literally, even though the album didn't sell like it should have sold, he changed the game a lot. Like
he brought that wordplay back into it. Like you couldn't come out and talk about UNMC after hearing something like that.
Right.
Everybody had to step their game up.
Absolutely.
I mean, when even Jay says it, who's the best MCs? Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas. I mean, like, there is no question that.
Yep.
Even to this day, when you can't talk money, album sales. When it comes to lyrics, nobody.
Yeah.
That dude took on squads and came out. He took a couple bruises, but
he did. But when
he came out,
when he put in the corner, he ether.
But we'll digress.
Yeah, we'll digress. All right, cool. So 1 week later, 7 days later.
Oh, and this is some controversy too, right? Right? Is this what I'm thinking?
I don't know. We'll find out right now. I don't know if it's controversy. I don't know. We'll see. 7 days later, Outkast.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So the playlist of Cadillac Music. April 26th, debut album, Andre 3000, Big Boy.
I was listening to that record on the way up here.
Well, yeah.
Dude, I ain't know how many classics they had. Like good tracks on that record, man.
Crazy.
I'm listening like, man, gotta get up, get out, get something.
Yeah, Crumbling Earth.
Yeah. I mean, Players Ball.
Southern
Cal.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's like that. Yeah. They had some banging tracks on there, man. For me, Atlanta really wasn't on the that radar.
Yeah, no. Well, Atlanta. The funny thing about Atlanta specifically is Atlanta has always been a crazy urban music hub.
Yes.
Always. Right? Always. Like, and they were on LaFace Records. Oh,
yes.
LaFace, right? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, L.A. Reid and Babyface, right? Like, it's always been based in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
I think this is the time, though, when they stepped out of like, oh, you guys got your East Coast thing. You guys got your West Coast thing. There's Wu-Tang over here. There's Dre and Snoop Dogg over there. Yep. There's a little movement going on a little bit in the Midwest. There's a little Southern movement, right? Texas going on. Memphis. You got the Miami bass sound starting to creep up. So, like, this album, to me, was the one that said, okay, wait a minute. Right? Because these dudes are rolling in cars that look like they should be from the West Coast.
Right.
But they're spitting lyrics that sounds like they should be from the East Coast. Yep. But they're putting this little twang and accent to it that's super dope, right? So it's just like just even the way that they patterned their words and how they were rhyming syllables like it was crazy. It was crazy.
When you hear the records, you go like, man, the things that they were saying is like, okay, I can see it. Mm-hmm. I can visualize it too. Yeah. And I mean, they came with that whole like the whole pimpology type of thing. Like they brought that Too Short type of rhyming back.
Right.
They had that that street level music, where and they were kicking knowledge like everyone else, but at the same time they made it sound good.
Yeah.
And the music, they brought that funk, that deep, like that soul type of music. The horns, man. Like when you hear horns on a record,
right?
You know?
What is that? Organized noise and all the live instrumentation, right?
Yeah.
You know, it was one of those. It's one of those formulas that when you think back on it, it's like we talked before about the Bomb Squad, right? And being live musicians and then resampling and doing crazy stuff. And then you think about Dre, right? And like bringing in live musicians to play on top of samples or redo this, redo that. And I think that that combination with Dungeon Family and Organized Noise and what they did, like that it made sense, and it was very Atlanta. It was very Southern music. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people were attracted to that.
Yeah. And you couldn't, and I mean, they made sure that, okay, yes, people clowned them for being from the South, but definitely they knew how to put the records together. They knew how to make good music. Yeah. And when you think, once again, out of the crew, you had Goody Mob coming out of there, Cool Breeze, The Witch Doctor,
Sleepy Brown.
So So I mean, that whole era, man. It's like, once again, everybody is coming together. We gonna make this record. We gonna make it happen, not just for us, but for the city. Right. And I mean, at this point, Atlanta's been on the map ever since. Atlanta has really been, like, when you think of music to even today, it's still like that place where, if my music before it was New York, if my music can make it in New York, I can make it anywhere. Now it's like, if I can make it down south, especially in Atlanta, I think I got a hit going on. Yeah. I mean, like, that sound, what they did, they really changed the game. But we see it today. It wasn't happening then. Yeah. But now it's like, all right, Outkast definitely should have, has their place in history, to where they definitely changed that. Well, because they had around for people.
And there was like Atlanta and R&B were synonymous, right?
Exactly.
So there was a lot of R&B coming out of Atlanta, Babyface, right? All
JD and all that. He's doing that type of.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff. But I think, again, like this album was like the perfect album at the perfect time. You smashed in between some other big albums, but it crew, sound, genuine, right, organic. A reflection of that community and what it's cool and what it's to sound like, and like to walk around like a pimp with the Kango hat on, right? And
braids, the
braids,
the
right?
The
Dickie shirt buttoned all the way up, but coming out of like a '64, Chevy, a Cadillac, the Cadillac, So it was just like,
and then the strippers, like, all right, we headed to the strip. This is what it's
South,
baby. The South, man. And I didn't really think about it or really give it that much respect until I moved to Atlanta. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, dang, I'm rolling through the same streets they were talking about. Now I'm seeing what they're talking about. And now it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So it was like, okay, it's real.
I just remember you went, when we went down to Florida, to Orlando, when in college. Did you go with us on that spring break?
Yes.
Yeah, remember? So we went to Clark, Atlanta.
Yes.
Because B-Love went to Clark, Atlanta. And he had his roommates still down there, right?
Yes.
And we stopped in Atlanta. And we went to the record store, and we went to one of those nightclubs like in downtown.
Yes,
but that was 2 years after this or whatever, 2.5, 3 years after this. But still, I remember coming like, oh my God, we're going to Atlanta. Yeah, like we were going to Orlando for spring break, but we're stopping in Atlanta, right? Like I remember you and I were like record shopping. What we're going to do, right?
And that's what it was, man. Like that city, it's like, and it's in the middle of Georgia, but that city is like, it's a whole nother world, man. Yeah. And you're right, like we went down there, the music was crazy, and the way people were down there, it was just like that whole Southern thing that where they were like, I don't need the jockey style. Right. I got my own.
Exactly.
And we doing it well, know, and you can laugh all you want to, but this is what we exactly. Right. This is what we do down here. So
that was cool.
Man, I
remember that. Yeah.
Atlanta's dope, man.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
That
was I think I got pictures still.
Too. Yeah. Oh, but you got to break them out.
I got come on, I got pictures of, you know me. I got pictures of everything.
We'll post them, man.
I found I'm gonna post because we were talking about it on the show the other day of just getting into hip hop and being college reps, some of the stuff that we had talked about previous. But I have that old day planner with all the old business cards, with all the notes from the Eminem show, the Pace One interview. I have all that stuff. But I was flipping through like, oh, look at there's Muhammad's business card.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like it was.
I
Oh,
mean,
they were all in there.
And that's that. And and that's the difference between back then in '94 when people were hustling to get their music out,
right?
To where today it's like, all right, I just post something online and is that like a single. Players Ball came out a year before the album even dropped. It's like it took that long for somebody to make a record happen.
Right.
Where you got people who drop a single today and the album's out tomorrow. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, that's how much love they had to put into that music,
so
man.
True.
They had to live it.
Yep.
And they rode it.
Yeah, big time. No, it's so true. Yeah.
Man, so yeah, like a lot of these cats on this so far, Gangstar, they were already established. But when you think of Outkast, you think of Nas, that we talked about.
Yeah.
They had to build it up, man. And that's why they're still around today.
Absolutely. Yep. Cool. All right. August 9th. Fast forward a couple months here. We're in August now. Nothing really going on in the summer. I think there were some releases, but nobody made this one.
Nah.
But August 9th.
I think is it? Or is that
G to the R to the A to the V, E to the D to the I to the G, G to the A to the Z, Zag, Z, Grave Diggers.
Yo, when I heard, I was listening to it, I was like, man, Grave Diggers was on some other stuff.
Dude, it was crazy. But some of those beats, I mean, Prince Paul and RZA. Come on.
You can't deny it.
It was crazy.
Man, like,
I still bump that album today.
Like, when you put those two together, I don't know how. You can't go wrong. The formula is there, man. It's like you can't go wrong with a beat.
Yeah. No.
Like, you just can't. I mean, Prince
Crazy.
Paul is so versatile.
Yeah.
Same thing with RZA.
Yeah.
I mean, Wu-Tang, when you hear that record from the year before and now you coming out with this record with the Grave Diggers, I mean, like, yo, it's sick. Prince Paul with De La Soul.
Yeah.
And he's done other production as well. I mean, come on, man.
Just that, I mean, they literally, like, kind of like, I wouldn't say they defined horrorcore because us coming from Michigan and Detroit, we knew about Esham and
is it ICP?
ICP eventually and Nodis. Like there was that movement, but Esham was really the thing that in Detroit, like that devil worship hip hop rap stuff. He was crazy. Right? I remember opening up for him in Kalamazoo.
Oh, for
on
real?
A fly. Yeah. I remember he did it at K-Dubs. KW.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still, right? But he was the kind of godfather of that craziness.
Of that sound. Yeah.
These dudes took that horrorcore and made it more hip hop.
Right.
Like made it more of that East Coast style of rhyme and hip hop.
Something you could digest.
Yeah, exactly.
You
right. Yeah, because Esham.
Like,
come on.
Esham was
trying to be like Ozzy Osbourne, but a rap guy. Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, so definitely, when you listen to the Grave Diggers, you like, well, I was like, they had the track 1-800-SUICIDE.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Suicide.
Man, it's a suicide. And so when you got all these different, just like you said, horror stories on there.
Grave Diggers. Oh, dude, it could be. And then RZA kicking off.
Yo.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's a crazy album.
That's their only album though, right?
No, they did the sickle, the shovel, and the pick or something like that. This was the second one they did. And then oh boy, passed away. I can't think of his damn name right now. One of the members passed away from a health issue, but they had 2 albums that came out.
Okay, because they were one group was like, all right, either you get them, or you don't.
No, either you went to it or you're not, and now it's going to drive me crazy because now I feel like a jackass because I can't remember his damn name right now.
Because they had some strange names.
Yeah, well, they all kind of like Resurrecta was RZA.
Yeah,
and then what the hell was the Gatekeeper?
The Gatekeeper,
the Grim Reaper, and the Undertaker. That's what Prince Paul went by. Yeah. The pick, the sickle, and the shovel was the second album. Fruquan released a solo. But damn it, where the hell? Hold on, I gotta figure this out.
I don't know. I can't remember who passed away.
But I mean, True Master Fourth Disciple was on that album.
Yeah.
Recruiter Diamond J Poetic died of colon cancer in 2001. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. That's what it was. Yeah. Yeah, because Poetic was the Grim Reaper.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. So he passed away. But man, R.I.P. But that was a dope. I mean, to me, like, remember those big speakers I had in the dorm room? Those two, like the 212s
yes.
each one, right? I remember bumping this album as one of the albums that people would be like, you have to turn this down. Because it was so heavy on bass.
That was one thing for New York, or like that East Coast type of sound that have a lot of bass.
Yeah.
It was common down south, but man. And I remember the dorm days.
Enter the graveyard chamber. It's like someone's screaming inside your ear with a hanger. I'll inject my poison finger. Like that, dude. That's crazy, man. Just madness. Anyway, but I'm a Wu-Tang fan anyway, so
one thing about them, I was like, they're cool. I could get into them.
Yeah.
But I really, it was like you said, the horror hip hop, man. It was like, yo. After coming from off of Esham, I was like, oh man, I can't play.
Right. I'd say, like, look, give it a second listen. Right, just give it a second listen. Nowadays,
when I was listening to it out, when I was coming back, coming up here, I was like, all right, I was like, man, because I remember a lot of the tracks. I'm like, all right, that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
So
some of that production quality is crazy.
The crazy. I wish, man, we could go back in the day and just be like, yo, we gonna resample this, and make it this time with those same samples.
Crazy.
It would make a crazy record, man.
All right, here we go. About a month and a week later. One of the other classic albums of all time. Another one of my top fives. Notorious B.I.G. Ready to Die. September 13th. Debut studio album. B.I.G.
I don't even got to say anything.
Yeah. All right. Next album.
Man.
Yeah.
Juicy.
Yeah.
Oh man!
So let me ask you about Juicy. So are you aware of the drama behind Juicy?
No.
Oh, okay. So this is So Pete Rock did the remix.
Okay.
To Juicy. He got credited for the remix. Here's the problem though. From an interview he did with Wax Poetics. This is Pete Rock. I did the original version. Didn't get credit for it. They came to my house, heard the beat going on in the drum machine. It's the same story. You come downstairs at my crib, you hear music, he heard that shit, and the next thing you know, it comes out. They had me do a remix, but I tell people, and I will fight to the end, that I did the original version of that. I'm not mad at anybody, I just want the correct credit.
Oh, yo, I never knew that.
Yeah, P to the E to the T-E rockin'. That runs in stocking, so Hunkwish a lockin'.
No,
Pete Rock,
wait, who got credited for it then? Was it
Puffy?
Not Puff?
Well, but Puffy has his ghost producers and whatever, but he did the executive production work on all that stuff. Yeah, but that was it was a jack, man. Puffy stole it. Producer Pete Rock commissioned the original remix. Allegedly that Puffy stole the idea for the original song's beat. Yep.
Man.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
crazy.
Man.
Now you see, I just shocked your world. I just crushed your dreams with that song.
I know, because I had no idea that Pete Rock was the one.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a ton of hits on that damn album.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
every track it's another one that you could go from top to bottom and ride out to it. Dreams. Mm-hmm.
Big Papa.
Big Papa. One more chance. Warning.
Yep.
I mean, man.
It had the what? Right.
The
What?
What?
The Man was on there.
Yep.
I
mean, there's so many tracks on that record, and there's once again production, but Puff and you said his Ghost Riders and everything. So I mean, the whole. But now you messed my head up with that one. But that just shows you once again how versatile Pete Rock is.
Right. Because you were talking about producers. You had Easy Mo B, Chucky Thompson, DJ Premier, Lord Finesse. A lot of them did production on that album, which is why it's as dope as it was.
Man, dang.
Yeah.
I don't even know why you going from a Pete Rock like that.
I don't know, man.
I think you should give him his credit, man.
It's Pete Rock.
It's Pete Rock.
Come on, man. It is what it is. After all this time.
I mean, I know. Come on, just be like, all right, man. I'm sorry, you got.
Yeah, but but that was
the lead though. That put him out.
Of course it did.
That
was all
put
a
him
dream.
out there. I used to read Word Up magazine, Salt and Pepper, Heavy D up in the limousine.
Yeah,
I mean, there. Come on now.
That was that
record,
storytelling, that whole thing.
Once again, that whole, and then like you said, the video right there. I'm on the corner. I'm chilling out. I got my mom's in the video,
right.
you know, and I mean, it looked so real. It was raw.
Yeah.
And that's what Biggie brought. He brought that realness to the scene, and he was another MC that was as raw. And I'm gonna say it like it is, and I'm not holding back.
Yeah.
Who shot you?
Right.
I mean, come on.
Who shot you? Separate the wheat from the obsolete. Oh, it's on. Fuck all that burger and beef.
He was somebody where people were like, all right, he's another MC.
Like
I'm not gonna mess with.
Feet. Thundering. Just the way that he just drops it into the next line, and
his delivery is like by far they're Nas, Biggie, and Jay. You cannot.
Jay's not in my top 5.
What's that?
Jay's not in my top 5.
That's something we should talk about because I told we gonna have to one day we're gonna have to just talk about because that's true. Like same here.
Yeah, I got I think 3 of my 5. Yeah, 3 of my 5 are on this year. 3 of my 5 are on this year.
Like, for me, So like Nas, Biggie. I really did. I wouldn't say Gangstar's in my top 5.
I got you.
But if it was producer wise,
sure. Well, of course. I mean, we're talking about producers. That's a whole different story.
But you know, I like Guru.
Sick,
Guru's dope. He's sick.
Yeah.
But man, I really have to think about that because I might have to add Gangsta.
I think here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do what we talked about before the show started. We're doing a top 5 conversation roundtable. Okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna bring in Kool-Aid. We'll probably bring in Squiggy because he hates Wu-Tang, which is always fun.
Man, we're gonna have a good one on that.
We're gonna bring in some people that are in heavy, and we're gonna have a conversation discussion. And what we're gonna do, I think, is we're going to put like everybody will have to bring. Well, everybody will bring a top 10.
There we go.
We'll list all the names up, right? And then we'll have people hash, and we'll see kind of like how does this separate, and like what are the ones that are easily within this range, right? And then we'll go through, and little by little we'll just start racing names off the board. We'll force people to have to change their vote to who's on the board still.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because man, I know people give Jay-Z a lot of credit. He's dope. He's dope. But to me, man, it's like.
It's good.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. We're not even talking about Jay-Z this year, but I there's no denying his impact and his influence and what he does and who he surrounded himself with.
But when it came to like Biggie,
correct,
and Nas, I mean it's a different type of
I agree
respect for their type of lyricism.
I agree.
And the way they deliver it. So
I
mean if that record is not in your top 5, then I mean we need to talk. We need to sit down and have a we
don't have to have a discussion. Lose my number. Don't call me ever again. I
he
don't
was
want
like,
to talk
to you. It was nice knowing you. but
classic, absolute classic, fantastic record.
2 records that had the same type of album cover too.
Oh yes, Nas and Biggie with the baby with the afro thing. That was also a problem.
Ray set it off on the purple tape.
Yeah, Ray did talk about that. You know, it's funny. I just got the reissue of Ready to Die on vinyl. It's in a box. I'll show you. It's at the studio. Because I'm a part of a vinyl record club. So every month you get.
I need to be a part of one of those.
And they select, like they have people that vet the records. So it's you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
It's just whatever you get is what you get, and here's the reason why. And it comes with some artwork and whatever. It's limited edition runs, all that type of stuff. But the one that I just got last month was Ready to Die. I was like waiting, like, ooh, I got the email. This is what's coming. I was like, wait, where's it at? And
I got to see this.
It's it's got some cool stuff. So I'll show it to you. But it's dope. Yeah. All right. September 26th of 1994. So 2 weeks later, Thug Life Volume 1, the only studio album by the hip-hop group Thug Life. Big Psych, Macadocious, Mopreme, and of course, the Rated R and Tupac Shakur. Yes. I put this on here for just one selfish reason, but I want to hear what you have to think about his album first.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, I like Pac. And I think once again, yes, Pac is another one that should be on your list. The record though, like for me, there were some good tracks on there, and but I think, man, I feel like I'll just say like they riding the tails,
of course,
the coattails
100%.
of Pac, and because Pac is all throughout that album. That's Pac's whole thing is thug life, and
it's a crew album.
It's a crew album.
We've been talking about this the whole episode.
Once again.
It's just some crews have more talent than other crews. I'm not mad. I'm not gonna,
exactly, because like once again, it's like without Pac,
sure,
they weren't really hitting like that anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, you got lyrics and stuff, but he held it together. So I felt it was more like like a Pac album.
Yeah,
I'm just featuring my family.
Sure, right. No, which is why I have it on here. Right, 2 reasons. Pour out a little liquor.
Yes.
An epitome, right, of a Tupac track, of what he does better than anything, and on the soundtrack Above the Rim.
Yes.
See, and Above the Rim to me was one of those movies.
Well, it gotta be.
Like I was, Boys in the Hood was good, Menace to Society was good, right? There was a lot of those that I liked, right? God. But to me, 94, this is like high school. I'm back and forth down in Detroit during the summertime, doing basketball camps in between juniors and senior year.
And here this comes.
Above the Rims comes out. This comes out. That song's on it. I'm a Tupac fan now because this song, So for me, this was something that was a life-changing situation, mixture of things going on, but because of that movie.
Yeah, and I think, and it really changed his way of things are going too, because I mean, Pac was always like that positive brother. He always he gave you that raw side to him too.
Sure.
But I think, man, he was like, all right, he was drifting down this road to where
This was the early beginning. You got to think about this. We just talked about Ready to Die. And 2 weeks later,
he got
Thug
shot.
Life. Well, no, Thug Life Volume 1.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So, it went from that album to this album. And if you start to look at what you were just talking about, some of these themes that are starting to happen now, here's where kind of the divide starts to go. I don't remember. When did Tupac get shot after the Ready to Die released?
Yeah, because I don't think Who Shot You was on it.
That's what
because it came out as a single.
That's what I was just about to say.
And it came out right after he was shot. Because the Who Shot You, it's on the album. I think it's on the album now. They stuck it on the album now, like if you buy a new release. But I think that record came out as a single, I want to say.
See, this is what this is the murder. Hold on, let me see. I just got to look because I remember, I thought a part of the whole Who Shot You record, or the claim to it, was that it was written before he was shot.
That's what they were saying.
But I don't remember. I don't know if that was accurate, right?
Right, because the record came out after he got shot. And they were like, oh, the record,
Yep.
Trying to weasel himself out of it. But when you listen to it.
Let me see here. I'm pulling this up because I gotta know now. Artistry, personal life, legal issues. Charge 20 days, Atlanta, 94. Days in jail.
Yeah, because he was going to the studio.
There we go. Yep, November 30th, 1994.
And then the record came out.
Is when that happened. That's when he got shot. So hold on, we're doing this live. Good old Wikipedia and Google's right.
Google, right here.
Who Shot You?
And I want to say the record came out right after.
Who Shot You was released. Come here, Wikipedia. December 30th, 1994 is when it was released. A month later. Interesting.
And they were beefing. Yep. That's when all the drama began. Yeah. And then the record came out. Yeah. And then that's when he was like, all right, it's on.
Yeah. That's so weird. Cause I do remember something.
Because it was never on the original record, on the album.
Yeah. Because it was after, right?
It was but you're right. No, you're right about they said they made the claim that the record was written before he got shot, and it was just something like a throwaway record.
Right.
But
I remember that.
That record was too.
Yeah. Oof, who shot you? Separate the weak from the obsolete. Hard to creep them Brooklyn streets.
It's on. It's on. But remember, he started talking about, they tried it because he saw Junior Mafia up at the studio. They try to do this to me, that to me. Yeah. Then that record comes out, and you can say what you want, but when you got beef like that,
this is okay. So here's what it says right here. Yep, Wallace and Sean Combs have asserted that the song was recorded months earlier, with Biggie exclaiming in the Vibe magazine interview, "I wrote that song way before Tupac got shot. It was supposed to be the intro to the shit Keith Murray was doing on Mary J. Blige's joint, but Puff said it was too hard." That's where I see. I remember that, man. How long ago was that? But I remember like it was yesterday, man.
Man, and that record when it came, and I mean, come on. When that record dropped, everybody knew. All right, Pac got shot, and now you just dropped his record. Talking about who shot you.
You know what's going to be crazy right now? We're going to go full circle on this.
What's that?
That this is crazy. When we went to Orlando, you remember when that was? That was March of 1997. I remember we found out Biggie got shot while we were on that trip.
Yes, we did.
We were in the cars.
Because we were in the car. We were going through Atlanta.
Right?
Yep.
Remember that?
And we couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
that whole
like, what?
Yes, in that whole ride, all they were playing, wherever we would go, they were playing Biggie. It was all Biggie. Yes, I remember that.
Oh, dude, that's crazy. Yes. I just thought about that.
Yep.
Because I remember where I was at. I remember we were in the cars, and we got out of the cars, and we were like, dude,
he got
for real?
He was shot. Yep.
Yeah, dude.
And that was it was a sad day.
Man. Woo. Crazy.
It is crazy, man.
All right. Well, hey, Thug Life Volume 1. It was all about Above the Rim for me.
It was like I said, it was a dope record, but at that part, you started hearing Pac.
Yep. You go a little bit different. Yes. It was a razor blade in his mouth, and
he was like, "Yo, I'm in it."
Yeah, he was a thug in that movie.
He was a thug for real.
All right, cool. So October 4th, a couple of weeks later, Common Sense at the time, The Resurrection.
Chicago MC.
Yes, sir.
Something finally for the Midwest.
And this is his second album, though.
Yes.
Right? Because Can I Borrow a Dollar was his first album.
Was the first one. Mm-hmm. And this one had the biggest track on there. I Used to Love Her.
Maybe of all time.
Yep.
In hip hop history. Maybe.
Which caused
outside of like, ha 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 ha. Maybe Rappin' Duke was number 1. This might be number 2.
Yeah, that track right there started. That's what got him in his beef with Q.
Everything.
With everybody. With a whole bunch of people.
He was the first one to do like that. I don't know that anybody previous to that did that style of a record. And what's the term for it? It's there's a term for referring to one thing meaning another thing. And I can't. Come on, man.
You talking English
Michigan Public Schools, right? Come on, man. We don't know these things.
If you know, just email us once you
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But because he was. When you listen to it, you thinking, all right, I'm talking about a chick.
Okay, yeah.
I'm talking about some woman I love. And then once you start hearing it, you like, okay. When you
have to listen to it a second time
at the end,
what I'm talking about, y'all, is hip hop.
And then you go, dang, well, he was in House Effects. He was like Onyx.
Yeah.
The West Coast.
Everything.
And it was like, man, but it made sense when you hear that record. You go like, man, like we really.
Totally.
Hip hop was sacred. When we came, you had this.
Yeah.
When the era came out, and then everybody just took a piece of her.
Yeah, man. It was crazy. It's like a M. Night Shyamalan movie, right? You get to the end, you're like, oh shit,
yo,
I gotta watch the movie again.
Right? Exactly. I think everybody, I think those cats who he dissed on the record was like,
everybody
let me hear that record again.
They're like, you hear this? And they're listening to it, and they're like, yo, this is dope. And he goes, and what I'm talking about, y'all, is hip hop. And they go, What?
I think he was talking
Didn't
about
he say
me.
something about gangster? Hold on. Put that back on.
Put that back on.
Wait, hold on.
Slamming it and dragging it through the sewer.
What? Diggity Das effects. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, like
It was crazy. It was the ultimate diss record that you didn't know you were getting dissed till the end.
I think he just said. I think he just
You
dissed
talking about me? You talking about me? Yeah, man.
Exactly. When you hear that, yeah, man, and that to me, like, and Common is like one of those dudes that I like.
Yeah.
He has that positive flow,
Yep.
and he can rap.
Absolutely.
He knows how to bring it.
Oh yeah.
But man, he was slick. When you hear that, just for his creativity, and then for No ID to be on that record too.
Oh.
Once again, the style of the beats.
Yes.
So
here's what I'll tell you, right? Because I wanted to go down there with No ID. Because I mentioned No ID. I did a little bonus episode the other day, and I talked about Jay-Z 444 because everybody was asking about it, right? And wanted me to talk about it. And I actually considered like doing some album reviews. And I was like, which we might do in the future.
that would.
Right?
Oh, I like that.
Might do that. But the thing that I would tell people, they're like, "Can you believe the new Jay-Z album?" I'm like, "Can you believe it's No ID?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "You don't understand who No ID is."
No.
Right? And like literally this man has shaped the sound of hip hop, and he could walk in here right now and nobody knows who he's at, right? And I'm like, "Do you know what No ID actually stands for?" And they're like, "No." I was like, "His name's Dion, it's backwards." Oh, right? Jesus Christ, right? Did you know that the entire reason Kanye West exists is because No ID. And that was his mentor, and he helped him. And if you look at the credits and the songs that No ID has done, and he did 808 and Heartbreak. Like he did, I'm like, you guys don't understand. Like, he is Chicago's Jay Dilla.
Yes.
Right? And that's the only way I can explain to people that are heads that they go like, okay, I get that now.
Yes.
He is Chicago's Jay Dilla. He is Chicago's Dr. Dre. He is Chicago's DJ, DJ Premier from New York. Yep. Like he's that dude who has been doing so much music and so much fantastic music for so long that it's crazy.
You have no idea who he is.
Right. You should change the name to No Idea. No idea.
No idea.
But if I had the time to do this, because listening back to this album, and not just Resurrection, but like some of the songs on there, some shit that I wrote, right? Like some shit I wrote, like Watermelon. There's a ton of songs on there that are just sick ass songs, right? I listened to that and I said, you know what would be dope? If somebody did what they did for the Grey album, but they did it with 444 and Resurrection. They put Jay-Z's lyrics from 444 on the Resurrection beats from because it's all No ID.
Yeah.
But when I listened to it, I was like, this would work. Because that's what Jay-Z did.
Yes.
He brought
No ID in, and he brought that old sound back.
That old sample sound, that old heavy drums. Because that's the one thing that I always loved about No ID stuff was that the drums were heavy. They would knock. They were in your face. Yes. Whether it was an 808, a 909, or it was like that thumping kick drum snap.
And there was the drums the wheels, and the sample rode the drums, man. Like
crazy.
And it was crazy, and everything fit. Everything was in its place.
And that's how Kanye got his style. Because that's what Kanye was known for, was drum programming.
Drums. Yep.
And the whole thing. Right?
And sick.
Yeah.
So No ID, man, definitely gets a lot of credit for that record. And once again, and it's amazing right, when you think like the producer. Yeah. When you think about the producer, man, you got a dope producer.
We're talking 23 years later.
And it's still the beats today.
Still.
People probably still using those samples today.
Of course.
So it's like when you listen to that, man, like with the type of time they had to put into making the record. Yeah. Doing what they did, man. These guys, man, they're legends in their own right. Yep. So it's like for No ID, he gets a lot of respect. Yeah, man. For making that record.
Oh, crazy production work. And Common, of course, is dope.
Yeah. But that should be something. Maybe we could get the acapella.
That's why I do it.
See what
I'm telling you, I just in listening back and forth a little bit, I started to kind of rap some of like the story of OJ and like Kill Jay-Z, and I'm listening to the Resurrection album, and I'm like, that could fit there. That could fit there. It would be kind of dope.
It would.
And it would sound dope. It would sound just as good.
It sounds just as good.
Yeah.
Because the music has his music is timeless. Like you said, like a Jay Dilla.
Yep. So cool. All right. November 8th. So, a month later, Pete Rock and CL Smooth, The Main Ingredients. Second album by Pete Rock and CL Smooth.
This is a lot better.
Yep.
I mean, you got Pete Rock. Music's always great. CL, what I liked about them was like, you talked about all the albums that we've had so far up to this point. They were all hard. And then they come out and they bring that humanity side to the game where it's like, yo, it's okay to love. It's okay to talk about your family. It's okay to talk, call somebody out for not raising their children.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
And they brought it in a way to, man, it was like that thinking type of music. When you wanted to break away from all that other stuff, throw on some Pete Rock and CL.
When they reminisce over you.
Man.
Yeah.
Love that song, man.
Yeah.
Because it just makes you think back.
Yeah.
Love that song.
There's
a lot of a lot of good tracks on that record.
Yeah, and I think it was that same, like, again, it's another one of those groups where the production style and how Pete Rock was doing production, and it was, bass lines and horns and smooth samples and like lush vocals, like crispy drums, like all of the things that he did was the thumbprint of that sound. And I think, to your point, like going from some of these harder albums or some of these kind of like elements of kind of gangsterism in some of these, and it's kind of like it was a refreshing sound to come back out of that. To be like, I got a record I can finally just relax with. Exactly. Right. Yep.
I want to go to sleep.
Right. It was a good, but soul and jazz.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're into that boom bap and like that style of hip hop, it's one of the best albums kind of out there that have that sound and feel.
I know. Yeah. Yep. And the one thing I hate though about producers like Pete Rock and Premier, they hide their samples.
Yeah.
So if you start finding the records that they use, you a good.
Yeah. It ain't easy. They're not doing 4-measure loops.
No.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, and some of the samples they didn't even, they're not clear, they're not listed. So if you find that sample, man, you're a good beat digger. And to me, the way they can flip a record, some people just loop.
Right. Yep.
And like Guru said, rap is an art. You don't own no loops.
Right,
You'll come up about your rock style troop. So, it's like, the way they were able to just take a sample and just do it in a way to where it's like, all right, I love this record, but I want to learn more about the record.
Right.
You record, you sample.
Yeah.
So they're the reasons why, and for me, why I still beat dig and why I love music so much.
Right.
Because of the way they produce, man. Yeah. So I love it.
Yeah, there's the art to that element, and I don't know. I think that when you're producing and when you're digging for records, like I think the songs or the sounds, like kind of they speak to you. If I hear something, I'm like, that's a dope. Like that's a dope loop.
Yes.
Right. And I'm just like, I gotta loop that. Like it's a dope loop. Or I hear something, I'll be like, yo, that's a dope stab.
Yeah.
Or that's a dope break, or that's a dope snare, or like the way that kick comes off that bass, like it kind of, you just hear it and like I'm either gonna piece this together or I'm gonna kind of paste this together, right? But that was one thing that I always appreciated from a Pete Rock, almost kind of versus a Premier. Premier was more of the stabby hits, horns, and scratch loop, scratches on the hook type of thing. And it's dope, and it's boom bap. And then Pete Rock was more of that, I'm going to rebuild this sonically and musically.
Yes.
I'm going to use kind of the same style that Premier does, but I'm going to make it a little bit more softer. Like you're not going to hear the snap of that sample come on, or that stab. It's almost like somebody played it.
Yes.
Right? Like he was really good.
Yeah, he's good
at sampling and putting it back together.
Yes. I'll give you man. So, man, I know Pete Rock saved our life.
Right. All right. Well, then, now that you're kind of in chill, jazzy mood, right? You want to hang back and chill a little bit. You probably want to smoke down. So, November 15th, Method Man to Cal.
To Cal. What's that
shit that he be smoking? To Cal. We're messing over here. To Cal. I got styles, all of them.
Meth.
Yeah.
When his solo record, and that
solo.
record, I came to bring the pain, hardcore to the brain.
Let's go inside the actual.
Yo,
based on instrumental. Hey, so I can write. topics. Yeah, sick.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick. Like Method Man's wordplay is sick.
Yeah.
You cannot touch dude. And the way like the visuals when you watch the videos and stuff like that, he came out with the crazy icon, the contact lenses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He knew how to bring that edge to it. He brought that edge. He knew how to get you just riled up and amped up like, yo, I'm feeling it. Even when he was in the Woo, I felt like he was him. Like he's definitely one of the stronger members who could bring it and like, yo, make that trap golden to what it is, man. So I love hearing Method Man's music.
Yeah. I just dark and rugged. Like I don't blame Meth, but I'll say that Method Man is the reason that I think like that New York thug, like, because there's a difference between like a New York thug feel and like a West Coast thug, and I've lived on both. I've lived on LA and I've been a huge fan of New York stuff, right? So like the Timberlands, the tongues out, what I'm saying, the half throw braids, the
champion,
exactly,
gear,
like
the big hoodie, the coats,
the Carhartt stuff, like whatever, like when he did, you're all I need to get by, right, with Mary J. Like that became a summer anthem, and this was November. Like literally, like it changed everything. But it was like that whole like New York thug love story. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how to explain it, but like it just defined what that was.
It's like, oh baby, you love me. It's like one of those like, yo, he's a thug. Like it wasn't like you said when we're talking about CL, doing a love song.
Yeah, right.
And Pete Rock. I mean, not Pete Rock, but Method Man doing it, man, it's totally different, but they both bang the same.
That's right. Yeah.
So, man, All I Need with Mary, that record, it still bangs today, too.
Yeah.
Shorty. Oh, man, I can't remember.
Boom. All I need to get by. Shorty be there. I know the pattern. I can't think of another song right now. for real, girls, me in your world. Believe me, nothing make a man feel better than a woman. Queen of the crown, be down for whatever.
I'm a lady.
We
can make more, make back.
I could be his hype man. I could drop in the lyrics when I hear him rap them.
Yeah, exactly.
But that beginning part to me still ekes me out to bring the pain. That boom, 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 boom. I came to bring the pain, hardcore from the brain. Let's go inside it. I mean, I'm just like, like that way that drops in, like sick.
When I heard that, I was like, I'm sold. I want the record.
Yeah, right.
I was like, I don't care what else is on there. I don't that. I want that song right there.
Sick.
It was
sick,
man.
Sick.
So big, and Method Man is definitely somebody who doesn't slack on lyrics either. No. So he knows coming from that era. They knew they had to bring it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah.
So
and it was a good balance, and it was he had a lot of Wu-Tang people on the album, but it was very clearly his.
Yeah.
Like his style, how he approached it, that grittiness. It was dope. Super dope.
I'll cut your eyelids off and keep feeding you sleep.
Yeah, if it's feeding you. Or no. Well, that was when did they do that? When did they do the
that was on I think that was on the Wu-Tang.
That was on Wu-Tang's album. Yeah, him and Raekwon.
But now they just go back and forth though, man. It's like
stab your tongue with a rusty screwdriver. It was back and forth. All right, okay. I'm with that. So then of course 1 week later, right? Soon to be BFFs and tag team partners, and release other albums together. Redman Dares the Dark Side, November 22nd. Second studio album from Redman. Def Jam Records.
Yo, that dude he's a comedian. From seeing him on MTV Cribs, showing off his
his apartment that he just used for the day to be a jackass.
Like to just hearing his lyrics, man. I can't wait to is on there.
Yeah.
Dang, Green Island. Like when you hear the intros, like those are the things, man. Like that was a big thing.
Yeah.
A lot of records had like intros where they had skits.
Right.
And when you hear Redman do a skit, man, it's like this dude's just straight stupid.
Oh, he's ridiculous. And like he said that like he was so on drugs for There's a Dark Side. He was like he was so on a whole nother planet. That like to this day, he's like, I ain't listening to the album because I was so
like, I don't know,
whatever.
But it was a dope album.
It was a dope album, and it was like him just doing his thing. Because fast forward to like Muddy Waters, when he really got the skits going down, you know what I'm saying, and the chicken head conventions and all that stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Like
hysterical.
He made it was like back, you know, like back in the '60s when they had like comedy records and stuff like that. It was sort of like that, like it's a musical, but then he threw in some comedy skits to keep you going while you go get your popcorn and laugh, you know. So it kept you entertained. He's definitely like someone who knows how to entertain you and keep you going.
Yep, no, totally. And he, I appreciate in one of my top 5.
I will
you know what I'm saying? One of my top 5. Because he's to this day he has maintained like his pattern and his approach to how he writes and how he does songs, and you can listen to that and be like, well, did he do that song last year or did he do that song 15 years ago?
You don't
know, really. You don't know, because he's not the type of person that brings in a lot of like current events, and like he's just not that.
He just talks about what he talks about.
He just talks about what he talks about, and it's hysterical and it's funny and it's relevant, and you know, it's just, I think his energy, and I saw him at the airport like 6 months ago, and I was so mad because I was sitting down and he was moving quick, and I was like, yo, that's Reggie Nope. I'm like, Reggie? Right. I wanted to yell. I wanted to be that dude in the airport. I'd be like, yo, does not everybody realize that's Redman? And I didn't get a chance to, but yeah, man, like he's just he is who he is, and he spits how he spits, but that pattern and the ability to continue to keep it fresh and new while also like he has not changed what he's done. Like if you, like I said, listening to There's a Dark Side, and even just the way that he'll slow down the syllables of a word at the end of a rhyme because the other word is actually pronounced slower. Like just the way that he would do that,
he is,
you know, is sick, man. Yeah.
And coming out of New Jersey,
not
so for him, I mean, like New York, I felt like New York always was like, oh man, if you're not from one of the boroughs, man, we're gonna give you a hard time.
Right.
And coming from Jersey, man, he came in, man, and did his thing. So that's what made me fall in love with East Coast music. Yeah. And really, you know, he taught you all about weed.
Yeah, right.
You had Snoop, but Redman was the one that was like, yo, I'm gonna show you.
Oh yeah, Redman and Method Man. Yeah, like that was their thing, man. I mean, everybody was enjoying a little something on the side, and he was like, "I live that life. You won't catch me without it." Right? Yeah.
So man, big up to Redman.
Yeah, my top 5 definitely. So I'll give you my other 2. So we talked about, I got Biggie.
Yep.
Okay. I got Nas.
Okay.
Okay. I've got Redman.
Right.
My last 2. In no order here.
All right.
My last 2. Rakim.
Yeah.
And Eminem.
Ooh.
Those are my top 5.
Ooh,
top 5 lyricists.
Oh, dude. Let me see if I can come up with mine. Because I definitely got Nas. I got Big. Gotta throw in from the D, from M. For me, Oh man, there's so many MCs, man.
It's tough because I got favorites like Chino XL and Pharoah Munch.
I know. I'm just like
Big L. Like
Big L definitely because I throw him in there.
Yeah, see,
Big L is one because to me, man, nobody could top him. Nobody. I mean, when it came to like the street type of, Big L was somebody who could bring it to you, and nah. And then my last one, I'll definitely have to say, I'll probably give it to Meth, man, because I really, since hearing him with the Wu-Tang, I've always been a fave of his, man. When I hear his lyrics, he knows how to, I just like that raw, that grittiness to it. So
okay. All right. Well, That's 10, man. That's Gangstar Hard to Earn, Nas Illmatic, Outkast on the playlistic Cadillac Music, Gravedigger 6 Feet Deep, Taurus B.I.G. Ready to Die, Thug Life Volume 1, Common Sense Resurrection, P. Rock Hill Smooth the Main Ingredient, and Mathematical, and Redman There Is a Dark Side. That was the 10. That was 1994, bro.
It's a dope year.
Dope year, man.
Still music.
Dope year. Oh yeah. So a couple things I got for you, right? Oh, hold on.
Oh man, I see him.
Get my headphones back on. So a couple things. I can't remember if I gave you any Life of Lozo t-shirts. I thought I did last time we saw it, but maybe not. All right. So I got a large, I got an XL for when you swell up as well. I need to represent. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, man, this whole weight thing, man. you hit a certain age and you just like, dang.
Dude, I ran 3 miles in the rain this morning. I'm not happy about that, but I had to. Because I got to get right, man.
Look,
I got to get right, dude.
I got a treadmill
in
the crib.
Yeah.
I got the protein drinks in the refrigerator.
Yeah, look at you,
man. And then I got a sweet potato pie sitting on the table. So I gotta finish that before I start working.
Before I do that, right? Plus, after this show, we're gonna get some food because you're here in town. We're gonna get some food. So, 1994, man. The Mask obviously came out comic book wise, and of course we had to throw Nelson Mandela on there because that was a big year for 94.
That was a big year for.
So Golden Decade of Hip Hop. There you
If y'all don't see this cover, man,
comic book cover right there, my friend.
Man, if you do not see this cover,
signed by Kyle Willis, of course. We still got him. We're still pushing these out. I know Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid's been trying to get on every show. So he was like, I saw the pictures, man. I need to get this collection, man. I gotta get these magazines. I gotta get these comic books, man. So there you go. Thank you for being on 94.
Y'all,
we gonna keep it going. We got more years.
I love it.
Yep. All right, brother. Life of Lozo, we are out of here, y'all. Deuces.
Peace.
The Life of Lozo podcast is brought to you by Stay Tuned Studios, STS Podcast, The Taylor Shop Inc., 03 Productions, The Beat Brigade, Rhyme Designs Clothing, Ronz World Guitars, The Music Experience, Custom Trips and more, Local Goods Market, The Art of Kyle Willis, The Josh Saman MMA Foundation, TheMishmash.com, and of course, Jack's Nutrition. Thanks for listening, y'all. Please subscribe, share, like, review, anything you can do to help get the word out of the podcast. But thank you for listening every week. And until next time, y'all, Lozo, peace.